I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. I was having a problem with the recording. Anyways, where was I? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Where was I? Oh, yes. It was June 2010 before another British newspaper, The News of the World, reported that Harry and Chelsea had finally broken up. Subsequently, Harry went on as he had begun, more boisterous than ever in nightclubs and bars. In July of 2011, Hollywood News, which normally specializes in movie star gossip, reported that he was dating a lingerie model, Florence Brudenell Bruce. And then in 2012, he was photographed in Las Vegas playing strip billiards with 6 young women. But while in his youth, Prince Harry was much more of a party animal than his elder brother Prince William. What the two princes did have in common was an active preoccupation with charity work. This reflected the interest which made their late mother, Diana, Princess of Wales, such an icon during and after their marriage to their father, Charles, Prince of Wales, heir to the English throne. The two princes carried on the British royal family's philanthropic traditions as presidents or patrons of several organizations, and in September of 2009 set up their own foundation to coordinate their work in this area. A further royal tradition that the two princes shared was military service. Despite his wishes, as second in line to the throne, William's long-term military career was considered out of the question. So after officer training at Sandhurst, he went on to become an RAF search and rescue helicopter pilot, allowing him to take an active role in the armed forces without risking combat operations. Harry, on the other hand, followed officer training at Sandhurst with active service in Afghanistan. He first served there for 77 days, only being pulled out when an Australian magazine made him a target by publishing news of his presence there. 4 years later, he returned to Afghanistan for a 20-week deployment with the Army air camps, reaching the rank of captain and serving as an Apache helicopter co-pilot/gunner. By the time he left the army in 2015, Harry was already working on one of his new causes. The previous year he had launched the Invictus Games, an international Paralympic-style sporting event for injured servicemen and women. Following the first games in London in 2014, the second event was held 2 years later in Orlando, Florida. While the royal family could at times be faulted for being stiff and out of touch with the country, a more mature Harry was proving to have a winning cheek and, like his mother, a more natural touch at connecting with people beyond royal circles. Harry might have been forgiven for his more wayward moments, but Prince William, 2 years older than Harry, was destined for an onerous responsibility. In the course of time, he would become King of England, as King William V. His father will be King Charles III, and his eldest son, William's son, will be King George VII. Fortunately, in contrast to his brother, William had the advantage of a long relationship with a steady girlfriend, Catherine Middleton, who, unlike Diana, whose parents went through a painful divorce, came from a happy family background. William and Kate, as they were popularly known, first met in 2002 when they were students at St. Andrews University in Scotland. William had first seen Catherine when she appeared in a fetching see-through dress at a university fashion show. And was riveted by her superb figure. Well, he's 6'3" and she's 5'10", so surely they were noticeable. In 2008, during their courtship, William got himself into trouble with the RAF authorities by landing his $10 million helicopter in a field close to the Middleton family home in Berkshire. The same year, he used a Chinook helicopter to fly himself and Harry to a stag party on the Isle of Wight. Despite these pranks and a brief period in 2002 when William and Kate apparently parted, their relationship had a happy ending when they married on April 29, 2011 at London's Westminster Abbey. About 1/3 of the Earth's population 1/3 of the world's population tuned in, including me and my family. What a day it was. A popular person with the public, Kate, now known as the Duchess of Cambridge, gave birth to a son, George Alexander Lewis, in 2013. a daughter Charlotte Elizabeth Diana in 2015, and another son, Louis Arthur Charles, in 2018. The Duchess, though, risked being upstaged at her own wedding by her younger sister Philippa, known as Pippa, whose eye-catching figure and bridesmaid's dress made her suddenly world famous. She seemed to love the attention and soon picked up deals writing books and magazine articles and work as a television presenter. But she was to feel the downside of fame too. Her party planning book received negative reviews and sold poorly. Also, her television career didn't take off and her private life was closely scrutinized. By 2016, she had wound down her media career. Reports suggested that she had been reined in by Prince William, who was sensitive to the poor public publicity her work in the commercial sphere might bring to the royal family. Instead, she shifted her focus to charities, working as an ambassador for the British Heart Foundation, among other causes. Controversy would continue to surround Prince Andrew, whose role as United Kingdom's special trade representative involved him traveling the world promoting British business. But this led to accusations that he was too close to countries such as Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan, both with poor human rights records, and that he personally profited from the deals that followed. Andrew was also dubbed Air Mills Andy by the British tabloid press for his frequent global trips, including tacked-on golfing jaunts, many of them at public expense. Then there was the matter of his Berkshire home. After the breakup of his marriage, both he and his former wife, Sarah Ferguson, had, by 2006, left their marital home, Sunninghill Park, a house built for them near the Queen's residence at Windsor Castle. The following year, the house was sold for £15 million in 2007, £3 million over the asking price, to the offshore trust in the British Virgin Islands. It was later revealed that the buyer was Timur Kulibayev, the billionaire son-in-law of the Kazakh president Nursultan Nazarbayev. Why Kulibayev paid so much for the property isn't clear, but it fueled speculation about the close links between Andrew and Kazakhstan's ruling elite. Then Kulibayev allowed the empty house to fall into ruin, becoming for some a symbol that there was something wasteful and rotten about the relationship. With permission granted to replace it with a larger property, the dilapidated house was finally demolished in 2015. Andrew's reputation suffered again through his friendship with American billionaire, hedge fund manager and philanthropist Jeffrey Epstein. In 2008, Epstein was sentenced to 18 months imprisonment after agreeing a plea bargain over a child prostitution charges. Although Epstein lost many of his friends in the scandal, and Prince Andrew wasn't among them. Following the sex offender's release, he was photographed in 2011 strolling through Central Park with the prince. The furor that this caused led to Andrew finally quitting his role as trade envoy. However, it seems that Andrew hasn't completely ceased his business links with Kazakhstan. In 2016, it was alleged that he had been on course to earn £4 million in commission in helping facilitate a Greek-Swiss consortium pursue a £385 million contract to build water treatment works in Kazakhstan, a deal which ultimately fell through. Does the prince struggle in finding a role for himself, one wonders? And is he too easily dazzled by the super wealthy? In 2015, the Queen surpassed the reign of her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, to become the longest-reigning British monarch and the longest-reigning Queen regnant in world history. And in 2017, 2 years ago, she celebrated her 65th anniversary, or Sapphire Jubilee. No British king or queen has ever done that before. The following year, 2016, she celebrated her 90th birthday. Whether happy or sad, deplorable or felicitous, these royal episodes and the personalities involved in them provide the latest happenings to add to the long tale of dark deeds, dirty doings, and foolish fancies that have marked 1,000 years of English royal history. And that's all for now, for that's all the British royal family history to date. I hope you all enjoyed it, and look for me on other stories of Story Time with Eric Zimmer. I got plenty of ideas and I'm willing to take suggestions. Thank you for listening into this, and have a good night.